What are you guys hoping that the audience will come away with when they see this miniseries, each one of you?
I hope that they're going to be able to identify with the show because, service members and their family members and the people that the service members, where they're at, everybody's affected by it. War is not limited to just the people that participate in it because it never just stops right there. I hope people will be able to understand the sacrifice. They'll be able to understand that, that it was actually the end for some of those guys and everybody else is still here and still living. And the war just didn't stop when it was said mission accomplished or when the deployment was over.
Yeah, I believe that this project stands a chance of updating the conversation about what is the cost of war and who pays it. Because the truth is it's paid by individuals. It's not paid by organizations or political parties. It's paid by individuals. And it's the individuals, it's the men and women in harm's way on the ground on the battlefront, but it's also the families on the home front. And that's very specific. That's not a generalization or a well-wishing sort of sentiment. This is, they very specifically have impossible conversations with their children that you can't phrase in a comforting way. They have nervous cups of coffee. They have sleepless nights. They give up their sense of rest and safety for the length of that deployment. And it's very important that we investigate that and we remind ourselves that there are human beings that are paying this cost. It's true also of the communities overseas that are affected by occupations. Nobody wins, and unfortunately sometimes war is necessary, and we're not making a case for it against it in this. This isn't a political thing, but what we do want to remind people is that it's paid for by individual human beings who you can relate to, you can see yourself in, and you can be personally grateful to.
And you're playing the person next to you, which is mind-blowing as an actor, being able to portray someone who's with you. What was that like?
That's a great question. Well, it's hard to talk about somebody straight to their face, but I learned that Eric has a shepherd's quality. I called him while I was working on the project and writing my journal. I called him a violent shepherd. That through violence, through tenacity, through doing what he was required to do as a soldier, through executing his training, his goal was to shepherd his brothers. And I believe that's not just true of Eric. I believe it's true of the guys in his platoon, his company, his battalion. That you stop fighting for yourself or a cause or an ideal, and you start fighting as soon as the bullets start flying for the man or woman on the right or the left of you in the trenches. And you're willing to lay your life down, and they are too. And it's an incredible, this story is a love story, and I think Eric exemplifies that.
And Eric, what did you learn?
I learned one, that John Beavers is one articulate, sharp-dressed man. Right?
At least you got that right.
Yeah. Hey, I also learned that there's a lot of healing out there, and if you share with people and you open up and get a little bit vulnerable, if there's people out there that'll help you and help get the story out there, make sure people actually understand what this is about. And I've spoken with some of the Gold Star family members. Just the conversations I had with them, they've made it all worth it. It couldn't be better.
Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm again so honored to have met both of you, and thank you so much for your service and you for portraying such an amazing man. Appreciate that. Thank you so much.
This has been an amazing experience. Not too many people get a chance to have their memories rebuilt from the ground up and to go through it minute by minute, second by second, and to share it with other people. And it's been intense emotionally, but to be able to bring my friends out and the families out that went through this and to relive it has been a healing experience as well. And so I think we're coming out of this with closer bonds, and I don't know, it's just been amazing.
Well, that's actually was going to be my next question to you. What did you come away with on a personal note?
When you experience something like this, you see things through a very narrow focus. So I've gotten to see what my brothers experienced. I've gotten to see what the families experienced. And so, watching the families and vets together, you see husband and wife lean back over and say, was this the way it was? And they're like, yeah. And then 5 minutes later, they're like, was this the way that it was for you? And it's been a connecting experience. And we hope that it allows us to connect with a greater American community and worldwide community about this story and the emotional impact.
Was there any moment that was an obstacle for you in the production, and how did you overcome that?
Really, I mean, there wasn't any obstacle that the production company wasn't on my side with. We moved mountains, they moved mountains. There were some things that we couldn't overcome, that we had to cheat, like very specific Army radios. But goodness, no. I mean, I know this is a unique experience in that I'll probably never get this again. But yeah, there was a unified team effort at everything.
One last question before we leave the carpet. What would you hope the audience would take away when we see this miniseries? What would you like us to come away with?
Questions. I want people to talk to each other. I want people to overcome, only 1% of Americans serve. It's a big boundary to overcome, and I hope people start talking and say, hey, what is the cost of war? Who is it that pays the price? And what do they look like, and what's their story? So that maybe the next time we think about it a little bit more beforehand and remember that, hey, all of our decisions have a blood cost, and this is what it looks like.
Well, I appreciate your service. Thank you so much for keeping us safe. And we really, really do, really appreciate you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. It's an honor.
What do you want to come away with from seeing this miniseries?
I wanted the series to actually spotlight the men and women going out there to fight, which is more important than everything, than anything, because I think they put their lives at risk for us, for our freedom, to be able to be here tonight, to enjoy this wonderful night. And I think Nat Geo is a perfect network to be doing a show like this, and I'm so, looking forward to it, and it's going to be fun, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. They've been promoting the show, the series a lot.
You haven't seen any sneak pieces at all yet?
No, I've been doing my own show. We just finished season 2 in Budapest, and so I've only been back like 2.5 weeks. So I'm still trying to get over the jet lag and being back home, sleep in my own bed, see my friends, eat my own meal, my own food, and eat some American food. It's good to be back home. You know what I mean? So
just being here with all this amazing story and the lives that are put on the line to keep us safe.
Yeah. It's great. I think it's going to be a great show. I think it's a great series, and Nat Geo is doing it. Everything Nat Geo does is great, to be honest. Not just because I'm part of the network, but just the fact that they're the one doing it. They just have a reputation for authenticity, and everything that they do is golden.
It's golden, and it's yellow and golden. So, social media, how do we fans stay in touch with you and follow you?
At Sammy Rotibi, SAMMIROTIBI, B as in boy, on Instagram and Twitter.
All right, we'll follow you.
Well, thank you so much.
This is a pretty impactful series, and I'm excited to see it. What are you hoping that the audience, on the whole, will come away with when they see this miniseries?
We hope, because we take a lot of charity trips with the soldiers on the boats, like for 6-7 years now. We've been involved in a lot of trips, taking them out, and we get personal with them. They actually tell us their life. We're hoping that people can understand what they really go through. And from what I understand and what I've seen so far, they have captured it.
So you're pretty close at hand with them, because I think a lot of times we're so desensitized, seeing
On a weekly basis, we're pretty close with the warriors. We do a lot of stuff for the guys in the service.
When doing this show, Wicked Tuna, what do you come away with on a personal note? What did you learn about yourself?
About ourselves, we're very humbled to be able to do it. To do your passion and be able to do it, it's because they fight for our rights to do what we want.
Well said. Well,
It's pretty amazing to be able to do what you love to do and be able to support your family with it. And it's because of them fighting so hard for our rights. That's why we're able to do it.
we're definitely very honored to be here tonight to support them. So before you leave the yellow carpet, is there social media that we can follow you and stay in touch? Do you have Instagram and Twitter and those things?
Yes. We got
This way so we can stay in the camera.
the Twitter. It's under Pisatuna Paul, and it's Paul Hebert on Facebook and Instagram.
Thank you so much, Paul. Wonderful to meet you. Thank you. Like, you got it? TJ, it's really wonderful that, everybody's out here tonight to support. How important is it for you to be here?
Well, we're super blessed to be part of this network, and the fact that the network has produced a show like this, which is something that I would have to say Paul, Dave, and myself are very passionate about. I mean, we got to meet some of these guys earlier today, and they were fans of ours because of what we do as far as fishing goes. But I mean, these guys are warriors compared to us. I mean, we're what they think we do is crazy, but what they do to support our country and to protect our rights is, yeah, I mean, myself nor you can relate to that, and we never will be. So, these guys are just complete, patriots, and we're super blessed to be a part of something so special.
What's the one thing you learned about yourself doing your show?
Well, what I would say I learned about doing Wicked Tuna is it's amazing how many people are interested in what we do when you would never believe. I mean, the global outreach and the people just across the country and the Midwest, people that have never seen the ocean. They come to visit us and they see the boats, and we let them on the boats and we let them hang out, and they feel like they're kind of part of the crew. And it's super special because at the end of the day, we're just a bunch of fishermen, and and we're very blessed to be showcasing what we do, across the globe. But tonight is not about us. Tonight is about these guys and these women and what they went through. And these guys all have a free ride to come fishing with me whenever they want. So
I think they're going to definitely appreciate that. And thank you so much for being here. I'm sure you will appreciate your time.
have a great night. Thank you. See you.